When I was a freshman in high school, I really only had a few video game consoles that were relevant. The Nintendo 3DS had just come out the year prior, so I had been playing a lot of Ocarina of Time 3D on that. I can remember trying to figure out how to complete the long trading side quests that I could never figure out on the 64 version back when I was a kid. I still played the Wii, where I grinded for hours in Wii Play on the Tanks game, and in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, trying to unlock every single sticker and trophy as well as completing the challenge screen. And of course, the PlayStation 2, where I continued to 100% both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, especially the latter once I learned about a super secret hidden boss. Once you complete the journal 100%, only to be let down by the revelation that there was a Japanese exclusive version of the game that had the Lingering Will boss fight. That was different from the American release, which is what I had. So I grinded all those hours for almost nothing, because I still enjoyed grinding. At least in that game. Of course, one console that I had and played on was the Xbox 360. I vividly remember playing Halo 3, most notably with one of my childhood friends through the campaign. Then we would play on the multiplayer Forge mode, where you could build battle stages to your liking and change game rules to better fit your random goofiness. We had mongoose racetracks that if you fell off, you died and started over again. We had mazes that each of you would start on the opposite ends of the map, only to work your way through to the center where an energy sword would be, for you to easily get the upper hand as you turn the corner and just decide to slash. I also remember playing the Xbox Live versions of Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, trying to 100% both of those versions of the games, enjoying the slight changes that those games got with graphics and controls. I remember hating Nuts and Bolts despite the number of months I spent playing that game, trying to get all the trophies and parts. I did really enjoy the vehicle creation mechanics, though. You could make vehicles to fit specific missions, making your job easier or harder if you wanted a challenge. The game even finally gave some sort of closure to the stop and swap eggs and the ice key, even if that conclusion was disappointing. However, one game in particular stood out to me the most. Minecraft. Minecraft was a game I had only heard about from a select few people at school. When I saw that it had finally released on the Xbox 360, I knew I wanted to give it a try, and oh boy did I. I had a single world that I continued to update over time. I had a very small base on the ground made out of obsidian that I admittedly spent way too long trying to make, only to move myself up into the air to have a base in the sky made almost entirely of glass. I had a huge cave system that I mined through that I used to navigate by memory. Each of my friends who would come stay the night had their own houses in the world, some more advanced than others. If one of those friends stopped coming around, I ended up having to demolish their dirt house, so it wasn't an eyesore. But things changed once I became a senior. I stopped enjoying Minecraft altogether. Part of me still liked the old system, but I got bored with how I just wouldn't be getting any more updates for that version of the game, which is now referred to as the Legacy Console Edition. If I wanted new and exciting ways to play Minecraft, I needed to play the newly released Bedrock version that was on the PlayStation 4, which I had recently purchased with the minimum wage I was making at the time. I really didn't want to buy the game all over again, but my brother insisted, so we had something to play. We played off and on, but ultimately I just got tired of the game. We played with some friends that we made while playing Overwatch, where one of those friends I actually still talk to now, and you should go check out his channel at youtube.com/InsertSlime. Link in the description. I don't remember playing much with them, if I'm being honest, though. To some degree, I eventually started hating Minecraft. It was the same thing over and over again. I had given up trying to find different ways to play the game, trying to keep the spark alive for it. I lost all interest in building and farming, and to me, it was all over. Then, on June 6th, 2018, I started dating my then girlfriend, now wife. She enjoyed Minecraft, and I knew somewhere deep, deep, deep in the back of my brain, so far back that I would not be able to reach it if I wanted, that I'd never be able to avoid the game forever if I stuck around with her. I can remember she showed me the Nether update when it first got announced, that introduced the Crimson and Warped trees, which actually kind of made me like the idea of Minecraft again. I actually really liked the new Warped trees and how their texture changed, almost pulsating in appearance. However, I wasn't fully convinced to play the game again. Fast forward all the way to January 10th, 2024. It's now been almost 9 years since I played Minecraft, aside from like the here and there turn it on. I hadn't played it seriously in almost 9 years, and a lot had changed. My friend InsertSlime, again, go check out his channel, link in the description. My friend InsertSlime and I had been talking about doing some sort of collaborative video for our channels for a while, but we never really found the time to do it. We're both just way too busy in life outside of YouTube stuff. So I reached out to him just hours before he was going to stream, asking him if he wanted to play a game together. We talked about the potentials of Overwatch, Stardew Valley, and some other games, but one game that seemed easiest was Minecraft. I warned him that I had not really played the game seriously in a long, long time, and I couldn't even remember how to play it anymore. He said it didn't matter, that we should just give it a shot anyway. It'd make good content. Oh, and it did. You can actually watch that video on my channel with the link in the description. But that day changed my opinion of Minecraft. There was a lot more to do. There was a lot more to explore. There was a lot more to collect and to enjoy. I thought I'd never feel the urge to play Minecraft willingly ever again. And then I got to thinking. I had friends that I had made at my previous job, and then I followed them to my current job, and they play Minecraft. Maybe they would be interested in doing something. I laid out the question to Ray, who has his own YouTube channel that you can go check out, Argus6200, link in the description. You can actually watch his view of the game on his channel, specifically from our realm. He did clip a couple things that were really funny, so definitely go look at those. He's been uploading sections at a time while also doing his own college work and, actual work. Give the dude a listen at the very least. It's worth it. But Ray, Argus, he thought it was a good idea that we should do it. We should do Minecraft for our channels. However, months would go by before we would actually put in the effort to make this happen. Minecraft realms are great because you can just log in whenever you want and you don't need to schedule playing together. I did not think we would do a realm because it does cost money, but honestly, it isn't really that much, and we had several of us in the game together. Me, Brandon, whom you can find at Specs9000 on YouTube, link in the description. Ray, previously mentioned, Argus6200. And Brandon's wife, Autumn. All of us started on the realm together at the beginning. However, I didn't want this to be like any other playthrough that I had done previously in my life. I had to give myself a challenge to keep me interested long term. I had to do more than just build and have fun. I had to conquer Minecraft. So before I actually get to that, my purpose for the Rediscovering series is for me to apply personal challenges to myself while playing games that I haven't played in a long time. Perhaps I even started hating the game after a while. just to make them more interesting and give the game new life and perspective in my mind. Minecraft is certainly an easy game to do this with, as I made several challenges for myself to achieve this. So here are my challenges. Number 1, kill every single hostile mob and the 4 specific neutral mobs on hard mode. Or, at the very least, contribute to the killing of a boss mob, in the instance of the Warden, the Ender Dragon, and the Wither, while on recording. So if I killed it off screen, it doesn't count. The second challenge, create a base that I have never created before that I would enjoy. That's easy enough. And the last one, have fun. That honestly doesn't really even need to be there. I just thought that it would be the point the entire time. A couple of those challenges do seem easy, like, you know, creating a base, having fun. And you'll see in my clips, my base will change drastically over time. Having fun trying to relearn a game with some friends I haven't played the game with before isn't too difficult. Trying to build a base that I haven't built before, that shouldn't be too difficult. But what about the hostile mobs? As the game currently sits, there are 34 mobs that are always hostile toward the player, and then there are 4 mobs that are considered neutral, but I included them on the list of hostile mobs because they might as well be always hostile. So, the list of total mobs I need to slay is as follows. Blaze, Bogged, Breeze, Cave Spider, Creaking, Creeper, Drowned, Elder Guardian, Ender Dragon, Enderman, Endermite, Evoker, Ghast, Guardian, Hoglin, Husk, Magma Cube, Phantom, Piglin, Piglin Brute, Pillager, Ravager, Shulker, Silverfish, Skeleton, Slime, Spider, Stray, Vex, Vindicator, Warden, Witch, Wither, Wither Skeleton, Zoglin, Zombie, I'm throwing Zombie Villager in there as well, and Zombified Piglin. Part of my restriction to this is that someone else can't trap a mob for me to kill it. I have to do it myself. In the case for the Dragon, the Warden, and the Wither, I do at least have to participate. I might not have to get the final hit, but if I can at least assist, great. The Creaking released during this challenge, so I don't really consider it to be on the list. However, I will say I created a resin farm by traveling all the way out to a pale garden, finding the Creaking heart, silk touching it, then bringing it back and making the said farm. If you think that's cheating, here's a clip of me making a Creaking heart just to kill a Creaking mob. You're welcome. So, without further ado, let's get started. First off, I needed a base. Ray took off to find diamonds immediately, Brandon took off to find a witch hut, and Autumn went silent. Shortly after finding a spot that I assumed would just be my temporary base, I went out to fill out the map I started with and came across a village. This village is rather unique because not only did this village spawn with an almost complete nether portal, it had a ravine next to it with a mine shaft inside, and a geode, but I ended up not seeing that. I wasn't the one who found that, somebody else did. And a zombie spawner room on the surface. Now, my luck in finding this would basically be perfect if we hadn't invited more people to join the server. More on that later. So, long story short, I killed my first mob, the zombie, and pillaged the village for some torches and resources to conquer the zombie spawner. I'll be saving it for later, trust me. Then I traveled back to my tiny plot of land to clear out my inventory a bit and found a zombie running at me while on fire. For some reason the game thought he was underwater, so he turned into a drowned and ceased burning because he stood under a tree. The only solution I can come up with for this is that he was underwater, sensed me nearby, got out of the water, but the timer had finished on the surface. Anyway, we can add the drown to the list and move on. Next, Ray was interested in going to the ravine by that village I found, so he helped me go down into it looking for diamonds, and I fell just a little too hard traveling down some water. Then I came back and went back down to get all my stuff and started getting shot at by a skeleton. I had no weapons ready to go and barely any armor, so I improvised. I basically waited for it to focus on Ray so I could kill it. Killed it all on my own. 3 down, more to go. We left the ravine and split up for the night. The next week, I spent some time trying to set up an auto bamboo farm. During that time, a spider spawned, and as you would know, they are the easiest mob to kill when they're by themselves. So, 4 down. We put on some gold armor and decided to go to the Nether, because Ray set up his first base near me and had a portal up and running. The goal was to find a fortress, easy enough. During that time, magma cubes died, and then I died to a stupid blaze. On the way back, the tiny tunnel we dug had some hoglins stuck in the walls, so I very slowly killed some hoglins with my fists, trying to get through to get my stuff that Ray so graciously picked up and placed in a chest for me. So now we're at 6 mobs. Oh, and I died again on the way back because piglins hate you without gold armor. Alright, 3rd time's the charm. Got a wither skeleton during the process, but I ended up not getting anything else this time through. Then I took a separate trip to Brandon's area through the Nether and killed a zombified piglin along the way. 8 down. Shortly after, Justin joined our realm, and you can see his name is Eustinus, and made his base the village that I had found when first exploring. So that's a loss. I was originally going to move all my stuff there, but not anymore. However, we did take a trip back to that Nether fortress to finish taking it over, and I took down a blaze finally. 9 mobs down. Then I died to a wither skeleton. You're noticing a trend, right? I kill one mob, then another kills me, then I kill another one, then another one kills me. There will be deaths that happen more, but they're not as frequent later on. Early on in this realm was brutal. Oh, and my wife joined the realm at this point. Then a blaze killed me again. So Ray did what he could to get my stuff back, but then he died in the process. So now I had to use his stuff to get back both of our stuff, while the zombie piglin was using my sharpness 3 iron sword to basically kill us instantly. Brandon came to that fortress, and after we killed the zombie piglin that had Ray's armor and my sword, Brandon died, and now we have a whole new menace to deal with. Oh, did I mention that Brandon had enchanted diamond armor at this point, and already a diamond sword with sharpness 4? Yeah. After trapping that zombie piglin in full diamond, I decided to leave, but noticed Brandon intentionally left his diamond axe behind. He did let me keep it though, so there's that. Anyway, on the way back, I got an Enderman to run at me while I hid in a 2-block tall hole so he couldn't kill me, bringing my total to 10. So, after that Enderman, here's the mobs that are left. Bogged, Breeze, Cave Spider, Creeper, Elder Guardian, Ender Dragon, Endermite, Evoker, Ghast, Guardian, Husk, Phantom, Piglin, Piglin Brute, Pillager, Ravager, Shulker, Silverfish, Slime, Stray, Vex, Vindicator, Warden, Witch, Wither, Zoglin, Zombie Villager. Now, that might seem like a lot, but it will go surprisingly fast, I promise. Moving onward, Ray invited me to his new base area where he built an iron farm. He found a cherry grove after I had spent hours trying to find one, and it was right next to a stupid mountain with an ancient city underneath. More on that later. But for now, all you need to know is that while I was on my way to Brandon's base, again per his invite, a ghast got shot down by my bow. 11 down, 27 to go. Wait, 26? I'm not counting the creaking. I was feeling pretty good about the mobs I was killing at this point. I decided I wanted to take a risk and kill a phantom. The problem with that is that for some reason they would not spawn no matter what I did. So I teamed up with my wife Nikki and even Ray to get one to spawn so I could try to take one out. We all stood together on her island so we could hopefully get one to spawn. During this process, I finally killed a creeper, making the count go to 12. After a few failed attempts on getting a phantom, I got off for the night and started recording the following week. Brandon showed me ancient debris mining and told me what it's used for, so I got to work on trying to get me some. Started off with 5 pieces of debris for the first hunt. Then, after going home and going to sleep, I found some pillagers standing under my snow golem towers. Yes, I made those. And no, they don't work in bedrock. Not the way I would want. Long story short, the number is now 13. Next recording session, Brandon showed me his XP farm involving armadillos and silverfish. Apparently, silverfish can be spawned using a certain potion now. That's new to me. So he let me use it once for free, and then let me use another potion to kill a silverfish, bringing the total to 14. And because he has a base in a swamp, I decided to knock out the bogged while I was at it, so make that 15. We're almost halfway through the list, and I still don't have diamond armor, or even better, I needed to get that as soon as I possibly could. After doing some serious grinding off screen, I decided to go exploring another map for a Badlands biome. I wanted red sand and red sandstone. During that process, I bagged a husk, taking us up to 16. And then I went to make a blaze farm at the old fortress we started exploring forever ago. Surprisingly, I did not die. I did get close. Oh, and for some reason I never got a piglin while I was in the nether before, so I got one now. 17. Then we had some more people join the realm. Joe, who is fellow Bike, Adoriel, and Kai Wildcat. Joe is another friend from work, and the other two are Brandon's parents. And yes, that is cool. Joe, however, is hilariously bad at the game and dies a lot. I had to spend plenty of time trying to help him out. On the bright side, Ray spent a lot of time digging out a nether hub for us down at bedrock level, because we can't use the roof because, well, bedrock. He put a portal at 060 in the nether so we could have a portal to spawn. We then started making a shopping district around this portal. I had to go pick up Joe from the unfinished spawn shopping district to take him to my base. During this time, I realized I had never recorded me killing a slime, which spawns incredibly frequently in the lower floor of my base. I'm not kidding. I think I mined into a slime chunk. However, none would spawn while I was down there, so I had to wait until another time to get it on a recording. Instead, we can mark off strays because I made a stray farm out of a skeleton farm that I found under Ray's old base that he said I could take down because he wasn't going to use it anymore. 18. During the next recording, Ray invited me to his guardian farm to show me what he was working on, where I finally killed a random guardian that spawned in the water. Then, I finally got a slime on recording for me to kill, so we're finally at 20 of the 38. Officially over halfway. Alright, we're a lot more mobs up, so I'm going to read off the list again. Breeze, Cave Spider, Elder Guardian, Ender Dragon, Endermite, Evoker, Phantom, Piglin Brute, Ravager, Shulker, Vex, Vindicator, Warden, Witch, Wither, Zoglin, Zombie Villager. Not really a whole lot for me to get at this point that's easy, but we'll see what happens. Speaking of seeing, you see with your own eyes, and I now see that this is a horrible transition to the Ender Dragon. But here we are. The Ender Dragon was next on the list because we all wanted shulker boxes and elytra. I can pretty much fast forward through this and just let you know that the dragon and shulkers are now slain, considering Brandon, Ray, and myself were all in maxed out netherite gear at this point, and the dragon lasted maybe 3 minutes at most. A few days later, I decided to use my elytra to fly all the way to a mansion 10,000 blocks away from spawn, build another portal on the roof, then save and quit so that my wife and I could go through it together. I managed to get both Evokers and Vindicators while here, making the count 24. But the most important thing was for us to get allays. This mansion had a ton of them, but we only needed one each. I'm sure that there were some a little bit closer than 10,000 blocks away, but this was by far the easiest way to get them. After bringing them back, Ray and I decided to take on a trial chamber for the first time. This was something even he had not done yet. As it turned out, there is one below our spawn, making our efforts much more rewarded, as we could farm these if we wanted to. This specific trial chamber had the following mob spawners: strays, spiders, and breezes. Not only that, but there was a corner missing out of a room that connected to a skeleton spawner. That's inconsequential at this point, though. I already got that. However, breezes are finally slain from this chamber, giving me 25 and a shiny new mace to go with that victory. Next day, Ray, Brandon, and I decided that beacons were the next best step for us. The Wither must die. Yet, I didn't want this to go unrewarded. I had a plan to use the village right next to the mansion I went to and have a trapped mob become the first Wither Rose, and then I would build a memorial for it at spawn. To which I did. May Sir Loin rest in peace. However, the Wither didn't go out without a bang. He broke so many blocks that my game felt like a slideshow for 10 or so minutes. 26 out of 38, but now I'm mad that the Wither made my game lag so bad. Ray was feeling a bit excited to finally get some things done, considering the week before we beat the dragon and just now we had beat the Wither. He wanted to go raid the ancient city that's under his base. And I gotta say, it was the most stressful thing I have ever done. Going there by yourself, you can adapt and make sure you stop making noise if you mess up. With other people, though, you don't get to control how quiet they will be. Brandon summoned the warden not long after we got there, and it didn't take long for him to disappear either. Then I learned the hard way that stepping on a ladder is a trap in the ancient city because they're super noisy. Luckily, I didn't summon him, though. Then Ray summoned one and got dangerously close to being sniffed out by him. After the second warden despawned, I found a chest with 2 shriekers near it. Obviously, I wanted the chest, but these shriekers were really annoying. It took me a minute to get it safe enough to use, but I did. Then Brandon summoned yet another warden, and it started walking my direction. I needed to get away quickly. Thankfully, I got away before I got the darkness effect, but it did take a while for that warden to despawn. Brandon summoned his third warden and flew away with his elytra. You can hear it as he flies by, too. It's really funny. And I set off a shrieker for the 3rd time, but he summons on the 4th, apparently. Lucky me. Then Brandon summoned the 4th warden and flew away, leaving me near it. Somehow, after a few minutes, we got really close together, all 3 of us, and the warden got really close. Also, somehow another warden spawned without a shrieker going off. None of us could figure out how that happened. Maybe one just never despawned. But anyway, I got trapped in between the 2 wardens above them. All they had to do was look up and yell. That was it. But they didn't. I stood in one place for too long, and then one of them did find me, but it hadn't attacked me yet. I think he was still sniffing me. I flew away to a random spot, landed in lava, survived, barely, and then moved on. Brandon summoned yet another warden, and by this point we had 3 wardens moving around. Finally, 2 of the 3 despawned, and then sometime later we finally finished going through the city. Ray and I tried to get an iron golem of our creation to kill the warden, but the warden targeted Ray instead of the golem for a moment, and it caused Ray to die almost instantly. Then the warden got in my way while I was trying to heal the iron golem, causing me to not heal him, so the golem died, and then I flew away. Once I flew back to the entrance, I looked back and saw Brandon flying from one side of the city to the other, and a warden was chasing him the entire way. That was funny. He also deserved it. That was like his 10th warden by that point. We may have failed to kill the warden for now, but we will return, and we'll get Ray's revenge. I hope. Another week passed. Brandon, my brother Corey, who joined the realm, named Wisbane, and I all decided to take on a bastion that I found in the nether on the other side of the portal where the mansion was. We all already had netherite equipment at this point, but I needed to take down a piglin brute, and there was really only one way to do that. However, Brandon showed Corey how to use the piglin bartering spot he made, and while he did, his character shook in place and his elytra looked as if he was flying when he wasn't. The conclusion that we came to was he used his regen farm that he has over 200 plus axolotls in, and it has an insanely high regen timer now. That might be what's making him bug out. That did happen to me too when I made one. I don't know, that's our best guess. But when he was standing there, he kind of looked like how Porygon Z moves in the Pokemon games. After sniping a piglin brute from a safe distance, we brought the count up to 27 and raided the entire bastion. There honestly wasn't much else to do here other than get the kill and then loot, though I did discover my favorite music disc in the game being Pig Step, and also one of my favorite decorative blocks, the Gilded Blackstone. After finishing up the bastion, Corey left, and Brandon and I decided to torture the village that we summoned the Wither at with a raid, because even though I had done a raid before, this was going to be the thing that would get me Ravagers and Vexes. I was successfully able to take down a Ravager and a Vex, and I even found a zombie villager, so I had to kill it, bringing the total all the way up to 30. Before giving another list update, I would like to share that I went on a quick trip through the nether to grab a Hoglin and force it through a brutal mutation into a Zoglin by forcing it into the overworld. Then I proceeded to make it the 31st hostile mob. Alright guys, here's the list. Cave Spider, Creaking, Elder Guardian, Endermite, Phantom, Warden, Witch. Pretty short, right? Well, let's just get through it. The very next time I recorded, Ray was on to keep me company while I took out a cave spider from a spawner I found under the iron farm I made off screen. It's a double one, by the way. Then, after I snagged that, I asked Ray to take me to the other ocean monument that he found that was near his guardian farm, so I could finally take out an Elder Guardian. After finally getting the tide trim, a ton of sponges, and some prismarine, Brandon got on because he absolutely did not want to miss us trying to get revenge on the Warden. So, Corey, Ray, Brandon, and I all went to the ancient city under Ray's base again, just to build iron golems. I think we made roughly 30 to 40. It's kind of hard to say. We used over a full stack of iron blocks. We wanted to make sure the Warden did not survive. This was surprisingly enough to take out 2 of them, but we got sniffed out from our safe platform, and I died flying away into a wall. At least the Warden didn't get me. By this point in the realm, the Garden Awakens dropped, and I flew to a Pale Garden so I could Silk Touch the Creaking Heart and make a resin farm with it, so we can finally drop that off the list officially. But wait. While I was sifting through my recordings, I noticed 2 glaringly large mistakes I made. Somehow, I missed when I actually killed a Phantom and a Witch. According to my list, I got a Phantom right after killing a Spider, and I got a Witch after I got the Silverfish. The Phantom specifically happened right before Brandon showed me the tunnels he dug looking for ancient debris, and the Witch happened sometime right after the Silverfish, but for some reason I can't find that clip, so I checked my recordings of the raid and confirmed I killed a Witch, and I certainly did. So we're down to one final mob, the Endermite. Nobody had an Ender Pearl farm at this point, so I had to hope that the pearls I had would be enough. And they were. After about 3 full stacks and some change, the Endermite finally spawned, giving me my final mob kill. To celebrate, Brandon and I played Guess Who Minecraft Edition, which I had built in the hub. I had just made it, so it was fresh, and nobody had even played it yet. It was fun, and we were fairly even in terms of winning and losing. Overall, this challenge was fun, and I certainly believe that I enjoyed my time playing Minecraft. It felt nice to discover things in the game all over again, and to even notice some changes to some of it, too, some of the old stuff. Some good, some bad. But I think the best part about this challenge was that I got to do it alongside some friends who just wanted to play Minecraft. I really enjoyed this, and I am glad that my one and only collaboration with InsertSlime so far gave inspiration for me wanting to try and rediscover Minecraft all over again. In closing, I would like to thank everyone who's watched the video, and if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Also, a very special thank you to all of my friends who either inspired or participated in this venture of mine. InsertSlime, who isn't in our realm, but he did inspire me to play. Specs9000, which is Brandon. Argus6200, which is Ray. Floral Maggie, which is Autumn. Eustinus, which is Justin. Sparkling Nickel, which is Nikki, my wife. Adoriel, Kai Wildcat65, and Fellowbike81655, who is Joe. Again, I thank everybody for watching. Thank you for your patience as I announced this video before June. And then I decided to pack everything up and stop recording so that I could move, and that became a problem in and of itself. But it is currently October. I do appreciate your patience for this video. I also appreciate you guys watching this video. And perhaps if you have any ideas for another rediscovering video, put it in the comment section of this video. Maybe I'll look at it. Maybe I won't. It will have to be a game I've played before, though. Alright, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.